Good morning, guys. Today is what date? 14th. It's 14th of March, and we are leaving Costa Rica into Nicaragua. Of course, the coronavirus has changed travel dynamics, and so we also have to adapt to the new coronavirus rules of travel. Currently, we are going to the border. There's a form we need to fill online, which we were not able to fill because the requirement for Kenyans to enter Nicaragua is a visa. However, if you have an American visa, you can travel in Latin America as a Kenyan. But the system doesn't recognize that because it picks the country first, and therefore the rules that are prescribed for the country will pop up first. So we were not able to fill this online, and we are going to the border and hope that we get this done at the border. So see you after this. More coming. We'll let you know what happens. Our plan is to try and get to Mexico in 2 weeks or less to avoid the border closures in the Latin America. Things are changing daily and nobody can predict what will happen. So see you guys. How are you feeling about this?
Good, it's a new experience.
Yeah, it's going to be a new experience, and we will share all the highlights of this exit. This is getting to the Nicaragua border. There was 10 kilometers of these tracks. It's a really busy border, so we're just exiting Costa Rica, and then now we enter Nicaragua.
Nicaraguan border, and they have a list of the countries with coronavirus, and you can see Kenya on it, so we're good.
After a whole 4 hours at the immigration and customs, processing our visas and then processing the paperwork for the bikes, we came back to the bikes to find Dose's bike with low pressure. So that's what we are fixing now, and then after this we are free to enter Nicaragua. You remember we mentioned that we tried to do our paperwork online, which is a requirement for Nicaragua, and we wouldn't go through because the system would ask us for the visa. Yes, Kenyans do need a visa for Nicaragua. So during our research, the information we found online is that if you have an American visa, the B2 visa, you can travel in Central and Latin America. Jesus. You can travel in Latin America, that is the Central America, without acquiring any other visas. But there are 4 countries that are called C4, that is like a block. That's Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. The C4 have different immigration requirements. So when we couldn't do it online, we came to the border, and yes, we were prayerful and hopeful that this will work. So the process is, as Kenyans, you have to have a visa, and the visa cost was $50, and that's for 1 month. And then you need to pay the tourist card, which is $10, and then you have to pay the immigration fee, more like administration fee of $2. So the total per person comes to $62 to enter Nicaragua, and we were told that it might be the same for the other 3 countries under C4. It's taken us about 4 hours to just process our paperwork at Nicaragua border. When you enter, the first thing with a vehicle, independent vehicle, the first thing is you have to go through the fumigation, and the fumigation costs $2 per motorcycle. I'm not sure, I don't know if it's the same price for big cars, but for motorcycles it is $2 each. And then from there you have to go to the immigration and of course pay the visa and pay the tourist card fee, which is more like a tourist tax, and the administration cost for the immigration. Then from there you get your vehicle inspected by the customs, then buy the insurance, which is $12 for a month, and then go and have a clearance with the custom for the TIP. So anyway, I'll put down the total cost of just getting into Nicaragua with a motorcycle. But that's basically the process. We have been cleared and we are now just about to leave and enter Nicaragua finally. Yeah. We got to near the border of Costa Rica to cross into Nicaragua. Guests came in from Nicaragua, and that day we arrived, they told us that borders are actually going to close for everyone. And we thought we might be able to make it to Mexico in about a week from Costa Rica. But unfortunately, we just entered Nicaragua, and that was on a Saturday when we entered Nicaragua. Sunday we made it to the city. We needed to get visas for Honduras and Guatemala to be able to cross through those two countries to Mexico. And we made our applications on Monday, and Tuesday we handed over all the papers, but unfortunately they told us that their governments have closed the borders for everyone. And that is how we ended up getting stuck in Nicaragua. So when I came back from Kenya to Panama so that we can continue our ride, I stocked up a little bit. I'm the one who carries the food. It's our Ziploc bags. So I'm the one who carries the food, and so I stocked up a little bit so that again, as we get back on the road and we can't get to, as we get back on the road, we can now get to cook some food. And unfortunately, with this corona, we have to empty our food stock. So we've been in Nicaragua for 1 week now, and things have gotten so tight in that 1 week. More borders have closed, more flights have suspended, more airlines have suspended their flights, and things are not getting any better, only tougher. So I am now doing the cleaning, like the finishing of the stock we have of food, as we try and get shipping for our bites back home and prepare them. So yeah, sad times, but we are not the only one. We need to stay safe and healthy. We are at the airport trying to find if we can get a ticket to Mexico and also be able to fly our bites, and there are so many of us trying to get back home. Flights are cancelled, and yes, the prices are also crazy.
motocicleta. Pues no.
No. Okay. Gracias.
Yes. Wow. You think of like. Yeah, this one.
We have asked them if they can ship our bikes. They are a cargo agent and they said no. We're now going to the second option. Buenos días. Información. Ok, sí, gracias.
Es que el flete es distinto. El flete de envío es uno. Nosotros cobramos por el trámite nacional, por la exportación. Pues. Ya el flete para que viaje la carga es otro. Ya sea por avión o por container.
And where do we need to take the motorcycle? Yeah? Okay. If we have to ship, then where do we physically take the motorcycle
To deliver
to deliver the motorcycle?
to you.
No, we load them in Managua or is there a port?
No, whatever you are going to tell us where you need to go, based on that, we're going to provide you the freight. You tell us where
The bikes are right here.
The bikes are in Managua.
okay, so you go to the website, you can see it for your also trying to
One of the biggest challenge is sending our motorcycles home. The ports, people are not working their normal hours, they're working half day. So getting paperwork to be done to send our motorcycles home is taking longer than we expected. And also the Nicaraguan airspace also has been closed, so there are no flights in and out of Managua. So yeah.
Yeah, considering that our plan this year was to ride all the way to Alaska, we were not planning to be home this year. But of course, when all this happened, families and friends at home also panicked about our safety being out there. We also thought it would be best for us to be home and be with everyone. And at that point, we announced that we are actually putting an end to our trip, and we are going to look for shipping companies to ship our bikes to Kenya and look for a flight to come home. Again, in 2 days, the Kenya airspace closed. So that meant that we cannot come back home even if we found a flight from this end. But, it's worrying a lot of our families back at home, but the good side of it is that we're able to communicate, we have good internet where we're staying, and we're able to talk to them every day and reassure them that we are okay. And also hear from their end, yes.
Actually, getting stuck in Nicaragua is not bad. We've currently reported about 5 people so far. People are obviously exercising the social distancing and putting on masks and stuff. But people are taking necessary precautions. So it's nice being in Managua and seeing how people are concerned and keeping the number low and the infection rate low.
Yeah, being in the lockdown here in Nicaragua has its challenges beyond. I mean, the local people here are nice and everything is working well, but just not being at home is a challenge by itself. The fact that we are travelers and our daily activities include being out there, being outdoor, seeing places and riding and moving from one place to another. Of course, that puts us in a different situation, but we are not the only ones, and we understand that we need to take precautions for ourselves and also for the people of this country. So we have to act responsibly. Responsible. We have to act responsible, and we are quarantining, and we are gladly being hosted by a hostel that accepted to stay with us even after the government issued instructions or directives for hotels and hostels not to take in any more guests. So from this month of April, no guests are being admitted in hotels and hostels, but they were kind enough to host us for the rest of our stay here, which we don't know how long. Yeah.
The biggest challenge is just the uncertainty and not knowing when the whole coronavirus situation and lockdown is going to end. It might end of next month, end of 6 months from now, but then I think the uncertainty just makes it difficult to plan.
Yeah, and the fact that we are here on a visa for 30 days, we've utilized 3 weeks of that. So in a week, we need to go and speak to the authorities to extend our visa and also the temporary import permit for our motor vehicles. The laws here dictate that you cannot go to request for an extension or a renewal any earlier than 7 days to expiry. So we had to sit and wait for that period where you're allowed to go and request for the extension and renewal. We are very positive that they will grant us because, I mean, there's nowhere to go. There isn't anywhere to go by land, by air, by sea. There isn't anywhere for us to go. So yeah, we will be here. This is our new home. We feel much safer here where we know our situation right now. We've been in quarantine for the past 3 weeks and we are still healthy. We are living with people that we already now know what precautions they are taking to stay safe for them and for us and everyone else in this hostel. So we feel much safer here as much as we would want to be back at home. So our message to all Kenyans and anyone else who will be watching this: stay at home, sanitize, wash your hands, quarantine. Please do not be responsible of passing the virus to anyone else. Let's take care of each other.
Stay home.
Stay home.